Okay, so it looks like I'm in a museum right now, and in a way I am, but I'm actually staying in a 5-star luxury hotel in the heart of historic Cusco, Peru. Some of the rooms in this hotel actually have a view of ancient Inca and Spanish colonial walls, like what you can see exactly here. This hotel, the JW Marriott El Convento Cusco, was built on the site of a former 16th century Spanish Augustine convent. When you enter through the grand entrance, you actually see in the lobby the original chapel of that convent. 35% of the hotel, including some of these walls, are original historical artifacts that date back not just to Spanish colonial times, but to the Incas, and actually even before the Incas. Because that's what's so special about this area where I am right now. Because when they were doing the reconstruction to turn this into a hotel, they actually discovered 2 separate archaeological sites on the site of the hotel itself. UNESCO sent in employees to help make sure that they preserve this. And within the hotel, you now have 2 museums. What you're looking at right now is the site of an ancient room from the Quilque period. These are the people even before the Incas. There is also a second archaeological site that was discovered in another corner of the hotel. That archaeological site includes some actual bones as part of a pre-Inca burial site. Overall, the hotel just has incredible history from the pre-Inca to the Inca to the Spanish period. I'm going to tell you all about that history in this video, but this is also a hotel review, and I'm going to share with you just what it's like to stay in such a luxury hotel in the heart of Cusco, Peru. This hotel is so luxury that they actually pipe in oxygen through the vents because we're at 11,000 feet and elevation sickness is a real thing here. I'm going to take you on a room tour of my room. I actually got upgraded to the Imperial Suite here. I booked one of those Inca wall rooms, but they upgraded me to this incredible, luxurious suite. We have had so many incredible experiences here. There's a unique alpaca named Panchita that you can meet out in the courtyard every day. There is a breakfast buffet. There is a beautiful spa. But I do have a few complaints about this hotel, especially considering how much I paid for it, which I'm going to tell you at the end. So in this video, we're going to go rewind back in time to when I checked into my room. I'm going to take you through a room tour. If you're interested in booking this hotel, you're definitely going to want to pay attention to that. If this hotel is not right for you, I have a guide to where to stay in Cusco on travellemming.com. The links will be in all the normal places, or you can search Travel Lemming Cusco to find that guide. If you are not interested in the actual room tour itself, you should skip forward to the next part of the video because I'm going to tell you even more about this incredible history of such a really unique and special hotel. So with that, let's go check in. Okay, so this is me checking into room 200. This is an Imperial View Suite. Right here out of the gate, you see we've got a half bath right up front. I did not book this. I booked an Inca Wall King, but they gave me an upgrade on account of my Bonvoy status. This is an incredible upgrade. I mean, look at how big this is. I've got this gorgeous, gorgeous desk over here. Multiple windows with views out over Cusco. And then look at this as it opens up. How enormous is this? Like, it's just stunning. Got so much space in here. Like I said, y'all, I booked just the regular Inca King, and this I don't usually get an upgrade this great, even as an ambassador. So I'm really excited to share this room with you. Let's come around the corner here. There's all kinds of they've got these older Peruvian books. And these are actual old books in here. I opened that up. That's just a cabinet, not much in there. And then you come around here, we've got this living space. With a nice table. They left a welcome gift for me. Looks tasty. I'm looking forward to having that. A couple vouchers and things that we'll talk about real quick. They gave us 2 pisco sours every single day, but you have to use them every day. Also $25 off the spa every day. Same thing. And then we're here during Christmas. They've given us a little menu with some of the spa offerings and also with some of the experiences that they offer. There's an alpaca named Panchita that we're going to see tomorrow morning. They've got a tour, buffet, Christmas dinner, a couple other things. Okay, let's get back to showing the room here. This is really the stunning part. Look at this huge living room. And it's just got views out over Cusco. And there's also a balcony, which we'll go out here in a minute. So look at that. I don't think I've ever gotten an upgrade from such a smaller room to such a big room. I mean, this couch just looks super comfortable. Let's go out on the terrace real quick. I want to show you around. So it's right around sunset. The light's a little strong. We've got a nice little table. Maybe we have coffee or breakfast out here. You can see the sun setting over there, right over the top of the Andes. And then if we come over here and we swing out this view, you're going to see in the distance there, that is the Church of Santo Domingo. That was right near Palacio del Inca, which is where we stayed last time we were here. And we also had a view of that from our room there. You can also see up on the hillside where it says, Viva el Peru, long live Peru. So just an epic view. I mean, Cusco is such an interesting place because it's in this valley and it just kind of like the city just kind of grows up over the side. Okay, so let's swing back around here. Also, one nice thing about this is there's no road noise, which Cusco is really loud, so that's great. So we'll head back on in. I mean, this would be great for entertaining. If you had I feel like for Clara and I, it's where it's going to be wasted on us. We've got a TV, couple chairs over here, couple different mirrors and things. Got these chests. I tried to open them. They have like a lock thing on it. There's nothing in there, but still, it's interesting. Then we come into here and we have the room, which is also gorgeous. Love that headboard. It really gives off good Peru vibes. And that stone wall in the back. I don't know if that's old or if that's new. There are some Inca walls in this property. I don't think that's one of them. I think that looks like one that they've made, but still. Off on the side here, I closed that because the sun's really intense coming in. This bed, I think, I like this little runner they've got on it. You know, it seems like a nice, sturdy but soft JW Marriott bed, so I'm looking forward to staying in that one. Come over here, we've got an alarm clock. This is a JW, so there's going to be a Book of Mormon. Oh, it's in Spanish. Usually it's in English, so that's interesting. We've got, the wall's kind of interesting here where it comes behind the baseboard. It's kind of interesting how they built it into that. I'm going to have to ask. That might be an older wall. I'm not sure. They got a coffee kit, little espresso machine, things in there. They have a discover your minibar options. So you can choose what you want them to stock it with. Minibar prices like a Pepsi's, 14 sol. So that's like $4. It's a little expensive. The mini bars will be down here. This is just a chiller though. They don't actually fill it. So I guess you can call and then they will fill that if you come in. This is a television. All of these are just drawers that are empty. There's so much space to put stuff. Have a nice little lounger over here. Here they've got a mobile dining menu so you can order room service off of that. They have electricity. One cool thing about this hotel, the last hotel we stayed at in Palacio del Inca, I actually had to take oxygen because we're at 11,000 feet. It's pretty serious in terms of altitude sickness. And I was feeling a headache. Here in this room, they're actually pumping in oxygen through the vents. So just by being in the room, you get a higher rate of oxygen. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's look at this bathroom real quick. It's quite the design because you've got like this center column here. And then you've got over here, you've got the shower, which looks nice rain head shower. Looks like a pretty decent sized shower. This tub though, check this thing out. How big is this tub? You've got so much space around there. I'm really looking forward to taking a bath. When you're out hiking and doing a lot of you're climbing up a lot when you're in Peru, it feels so great to have a bath at the end of the night. The last hotel we were at, I was doing that every night. So that's awesome that they have that here. I'm assuming these are probably some bath salts over there. Yeah, I got Andean bath salts. Got the JW robes. the JW Griffin branding on it. Pretty nice. Not the best robes I've seen, but they're pretty decent. Here's our main toilet, which, sorry if that fan's there. Plenty of space in there. Just a standard John. Has one of these little frosted glass things. And then you come back around, it's this like kind of weird loop. And then this is here where you have the bathroom. I do like how they put the griffin on the tissues here. Open up this. Oh, hey, they're coming to bring me something. So let's go check that out real quick. Okay, sorry, I had to stop filming there. They brought in another gift. This was my election as a Marriott Bonvoy member instead of the points we got. Fruit, and it looks like some sort of honey thing. A half bottle of red. What do you think? I think that's worth more than 1,000 points. That already had the breakfast included as part of the destination fee. So usually I would take the breakfast, but half bottle of wine and the fruit, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so let's go back to checking out that bathroom. But first, wow, this is just, you can see the mountains there as the sun comes down over it. How gorgeous is that? Okay, all right, we got to finish this tour real quick, folks. I'll quickly take you back through. It's like I'm getting my steps in just walking around this place. Okay, where were we? I was commenting on the bath amenities. So, you know, they've got standard things, Q-tips and sewing kit thing, facial soap. Over here, you've got a shower cap, mouthwash, bath soap, probably lotion. In this thing, you've got more dental kit, shaving kit, a comb, sanitary bags. So lots of amenities. You see that this is kind of an awkward space. I don't know if you can see, but back there, the shelves are there, but you kind of have to reach around to get them. I feel like they're just probably working with an old building and that's what they have here. But it's kind of funky with this like circular bathroom setup. We got some more towels down there, hair dryer, all the basics. In here is just a closet, iron. They've got, laundry service, hangers, safe, space for your shoes. Another one over here that has a couple glasses. They've got a little shoe shine service. And yeah, that's it for this room. I mean, I think this is a pretty awesome room. I don't know about y'all, but considering I only booked the cheapest room, this is a pretty incredible upgrade. I'm really going to get a lot of use out of this. Now, I'm doing other videos about Peru, and now that I'm looking at this, I feel like this is where I should use to set up for those videos. So I think I'm gonna really enjoy. So be sure to check out my other Peru videos. Okay, that's it for the room tour. We're here for 6 nights. I'll check back in and let you know how it's going. There's a lot of other really cool things at this hotel. In addition to the fact that it does have some original Inca walls, they've also got a lot of other amenities. They've got a gorgeous courtyard. When we came in, it was beautiful. So stick around. I'm going to tell you all about my stay in a couple days after I've had a chance to enjoy the hotel. All right, y'all. So it's the last night of my stay here at the JW. Tonight will be our 6th night here. We've spent a week here over Christmas. It's been a really interesting place. I've really enjoyed our stay overall. I think it's been, by and large, a fantastic hotel. It's not perfect. There are a couple cons I'm going to talk about, particularly given the price of this hotel, which I'm going to tell you what I paid at the end. But it's been a really fun and interesting place. It's a very unique property. There's a lot of really interesting history that I've learned about this hotel. And I guess that's really where I want to start. So every day they have a 6 p.m. tour that they do through the hotel. I highly recommend taking it. It was really cool. It was led by one of the staff members who was like dressed as an Augustinian monk, and he had a little light and he takes you through the hotel. And it was just so interesting. So what I learned is that this hotel was originally a 16th century Augustinian convent. So I know like my mom or anyone who's really into the Catholic Church would be really interested in staying here. Something like a third of the hotel is original, and then the rest of it has been sort of reconstructed. But one part that is original is the lobby reception area. When you walk in, it's just this really grand entrance. And that lobby was originally the convent chapel, and that is all still original work. One thing that is new is that behind the lobby is this gorgeous piece featuring 6,000 Swarovski crystals. It was supposed to be done as like an artwork, as a homage to the Inca god Inti. Then as you move through the hotel, you come in and you've got like a piece that originally belonged to an Augustinian convent in Lima, but they brought it here. It is original Augustinian work, but the reason why they had to bring it from Lima was because when the Augustinians left this convent, it fell into disrepair. So most of the original artifacts from that time during the Spanish occupation have just disappeared. Apparently, this building, after the Augustinians left, slowly sort of degraded. It had a few different lives as like a chocolate shop and a few different things. Then, of course, there was that famous earthquake in the 1950s. And then like by the 70s, it had pretty much just fallen into complete disrepair. In the early 2000s, a local Peruvian group in Marriott bought the property and started reconstructing it into the hotel. Apparently, the property was in really pretty bad shape when they bought it. Down below, they've got a coffee table book that you can flip through, and it shows some photos of what it looked like during the reconstruction process. This process was really complex because remember, Cusco itself is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So everything had to be done really carefully to make sure that we were preserving a lot of what lies below, because underneath Cusco are literally layers of history going back to the Incas and even before the Incas. So and actually during that 6-year reconstruction process, they found the 2 archaeological sites below. And on the tour, they take you down into these sites, but you can also just walk down there if you have a room key. And they've turned it into basically like a museum. These sites sit behind glass walls. One of them, you can actually see some bones like far into the ground on the far side. The other site is a site that belongs to the Quilchi, which were the people who actually existed even before the Incas. That's how far this goes back. So you've got history from pre-Incas, from the Incas themselves, and from the Spanish history here. There's a video down below that shows you the history of that reconstruction process. They actually had to bring in like UNESCO inspectors to make sure that everything was being done to preserve this site. And so you can go down there and you can see all of that. That's really cool. Additionally, if you book a room so there are 2 below ground floors. There's -1 and -2. If you book a room on -2, you will have a view of an Inca wall. Like you won't actually have any direct sunlight. Just outside your window will be an original Inca wall. If you are on floor -1, you will have a view of a wall that's a Spanish colonial wall. The way that you can tell the difference is the Spaniards used mortar, but the Inca, they later used a little bit of mortar, but in general, they just cut the rocks so perfectly tight that they would all kind of fit together. I originally booked an Inca room wall because it was cheapest, but also because I thought it would be kind of cool to do this video with that Inca room there. They gave me this upgrade, and I'm not going to complain because this is like, I think the Imperial Suite is the most expensive room in the property, so I am not complaining about the upgrade. But I did miss that opportunity to get that Inca wall, which I thought would have been pretty cool. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's like cool to stay in the Inca wall, or would you just like far rather have actual natural sunlight when you're staying there? Which one would you prefer? Anyway, that tour was really cool to learn a lot about the hotel and a lot about the history of this convent here, and really makes me appreciate being able to stay in such a really special place. The hotel itself has 155 rooms, so it's like pretty decently sized. There are a lot of people here. You really feel it at breakfast because the buffet gets like a little crowded. There's only one restaurant, the Pirca restaurant, and then the Kespi bar, and they all just kind of blend together. There are a couple different seating areas. We never actually ate at the restaurant in the evening. We did get room service a couple times, and that was nice. But every morning we would have the breakfast downstairs. It's buffet style. They don't bring anything to your table other than coffee. There's a made-to-order egg station, and then there's several different buffet stations. I think in terms of food, the food was pretty good. There was good fruit. There were lots of different breads. I liked the almond croissants that they had. On some special days, they'd even had like a turkey station that they would carve out and that sort of stuff. I can't complain about the food at the breakfast buffet. What I did not like is that the setup of it, where you have these several different seating areas, and then it's all kind of like the food's all in the middle. When the hotel was very full for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, it was so chaotic. There was a couple large tour groups in there, and it was just awful, like trying to move through. People are bumping, they're pushing, they're fighting for a spot at the buffet. Not what you expect of a luxury hotel. There are also a lot of families here, and this might just be because we were staying over Christmas, but there were a lot of families. Most of them were well behaved, but there was one family, one very obviously American family that just let their kids run all over the hotel. And for several days, every time we would see this family, Clara and I would just be like, oh my goodness. Because these kids, they would run up. One of the kids was running up and he would like karate chop my face. And another one they would come up and they would like touch your stuff. And they were just screaming and whatever. And their parents like could not care. There was a group of, I guess, a couple different parents of this larger family. And they just like let their kids go wherever they wanted. They would come up behind people who were taking selfies with Panchita, the alpaca, and they would like try to photobomb. It was really just that one problematic family. So probably if you're staying here, you won't have that. If you are somebody who is coming with kids, make sure you're raising your kids to not be spoiled little brats. Like I grew up in a poor family and then I went to like some schools where a lot of rich people send their kids, and you could tell which of the kids were raised well and which ones were rich, spoiled brats. So I would say like 80% of the families were perfectly fine, but it kind of did ruin a little bit of the ambience, and it had us wishing that we were back at Palacio del Inca, which was like more couples focused during those moments. It's not the hotel's fault. JW Marriott is a family brand, so I totally get that. But I think the setup of the breakfast buffet in particular just made it super chaotic. The Kespi bar was a nice little bar. We would have our daily pisco sours that came as part of that destination fee. You can see we didn't do it every day. I still have a bunch of vouchers if anybody wants 2 pisco sours. They were pretty good. It was a pretty nice bar. The service was great. I was very happy with every staff interaction that we had here. The alpaca, we got to talk about at Panchita. So out in that beautiful courtyard, I mean, the hotel is just set around this huge, massive courtyard. It's a gorgeous place to hang out. There are a few tables if you wanted to take your breakfast out there. We didn't do that because I got sunburned at Machu Picchu and I was trying to let that relax. But we would go out there, we would hang out with Panchita. What I appreciate about the local ladies that had the alpaca, this is our 3rd hotel we've stayed at, and they all have some version of, they bring in community members who have an alpaca and they kind of sell their wares. The ladies at this particular hotel were not pushy about selling their stuff, which I can't say about some of the other hotels we went to where they were really trying to like, you come up and play with the alpaca and they'd really try to sell you stuff. Here, they were not pushy at all about that. They have things that you can buy if you wanted to buy, but they were very happy to help you play with Panchita. Panchita was really friendly. She was really happy to take selfies. And like just such an adorable, cute little alpaca. Christmas, we were here over Christmas. They set up a nice tree out in front that was really good for taking photos right in the lobby next to a piano. They had quite a lot of like Christmas music and things. I think it was a great place to spend Christmas. This hotel would be a perfect spot for Christmas. They also gave us a few gifts for Christmas, including these 2 little llamas that they came in and put here. On Christmas Eve, we got some cookies and a bag full of little chocolates. So those were like nice little touches that I think set a luxury hotel apart, particularly given the price we paid, which I'm going to get to later. Now, one thing I do want to complain about is that destination fee. So you're forced to pay this like, this fee, which I think is like $25 a day. And then it's supposed to come with benefits. Like you get $25 in spa vouchers, but you have to use it every day. You can't combine them. And as you can see, we have a bunch of spa vouchers we haven't gotten to use yet. I might try to book a massage for tonight down there, but they've been really full. Down at the spa, they do have a pool. The pool has also been pretty busy. A lot of people going down there in their robes. Again, it's Christmas, so it's like really packed right now. It may not be typical if you're coming during another time. One thing I didn't love is that there's no gym here, which that just like blew my mind. I would never think when booking a JW Marriott to even check if they have a gym. Like I would just assume they have a gym. They don't have a gym here. There's space for a gym. It's 155 rooms, so you'd really think they would have a gym. I asked about it, and one of the staff members was like, they a long time ago had a gym, and then they very quickly had to do away with it. And he didn't say why. My guess is it's liability because of the elevation, because they're worried about maybe some older person straining themselves and having some sort of a physical issue. They do pump in the oxygen into the rooms here, so they definitely have like that clientele who's kind of looking for that. So I could understand why maybe their lawyers would say, hey, maybe not having a gym is the best idea. That said, every other hotel we've stayed at Elevation here has had a gym, and many of the other hotels do have a gym. If you find yourself staying here and you want a gym, We found one called Huber Gym, which is just a couple blocks away across from the Coricancha Museum. They let us go in for 20 sol per day, which is like $5 or something. It was fine. It was a nice, fun local gym. So you could go check out Huber Gym. That destination fee I was complaining about, let me go back to that. So that comes with several other things. Every day you get 2 pisco sours. Again, we didn't use those. I will say they're not watered down. When we did try them, they definitely had alcohol in them. I've got the little thing they've given me with all the other things that are supposed to justify this fee. It includes, there's like, and I think this changes because this is like specific to the holidays, but it includes like a weaving demonstration, piano. They have that historical tour of the convent that I told you about. They were doing Christmas cookie lessons a few days ago. They've got Panchita, the alpaca, and they also have some yoga. They also apparently have a pisco sour class here, which we did not take because the last 2 hotels we stayed at also had pisco sour classes, so we were just tired of that. But I think it's fun to do if you haven't done it before. They also have some wine tasting classes, and apparently there was a hot chocolate station, although I never saw that. What I did see is down below they have a really good tea station, and they have lots of different teas, including cocoa tea, the Munya tea, but several other kinds of tea. And so every time we're coming in and out of that lobby, we're taking advantage of getting that tea. So that was nice. Still, I kind of wish they just included it in the price. But anyway, I'm going to move on. Other amenities to talk about. So in front of the hotel at the entrance, they've got a little coffee shop. We had some coffee there. It's pretty good coffee. Within the hotel itself, there are water stations on every floor. So that's nice if you want to refill up your water. They put lots of water in our room, so we didn't really use that a lot, but it's nice that it's there. You definitely don't want to drink the tap water there. There's even a print station in front of our room, which is kind of interesting. We actually are going to use that because we need to print. We're going to Colombia after this and we have to like print something for immigration. So kind of convenient that they had that set up. But let's talk about the rooms themselves. Now, obviously I'm in the Imperial Suite thanks to this upgrade. So that's not necessarily representative of every room. But what I can say is it's been a fantastically huge, awesome room. But I really like how modern it is. Like the other hotels we've stayed at haven't been as modern. And in particular, the shower pressure here is amazing. Like it's really warm, it gets hot, it's strong shower pressure. The bath is also really nice. It fills up really quick. Taking a bath a couple nights, that's great when you're tired from going out and walking. You can definitely feel the fact that they pump the oxygen into the room. Like we will be out walking and we'll go up a hill and we'll be heavy on the lungs. And then as soon as you come back into the room, very quickly you feel it. So it definitely does make a difference. Now with that said, I kind of wonder if you were like gonna go do a trek or you were planning to do something like that after this, you might not want to stay here because having the oxygen in the room could potentially like slow down your process of acclimatizing, right? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think that's not their clientele. I think their clientele is like older couples, travelers, of family travelers. And I think that oxygen is helpful for most of the people who are here. It's definitely a really nice luxury. There are only a couple hotels in Cusco that pump in oxygen. So that's a big reason to stay here. Also, I asked about that wall behind our bed, and I'm pretty sure that is actually an original Spanish colonial wall. They said about 35% of the walls are original and some of them are reconstructed. But I think that's why they have that kind of way our bed is funky built into the wall. The other rooms that I've heard about from other travelers are more standard JW rooms, but they're all really nice, really modern, super clean. I'm really picky about cleanliness. They've been great. The Wi-Fi has been super fast. I've been uploading tons of videos while we're here because I want to take advantage of the fast internet while I can. The housekeeping service is nice. They come twice daily. They come in the evening. They leave chocolates. They put water out. All of that's been great. I mean, the service has been fantastic. They've been really overall pretty solid hotel. We got to talk about the location of the hotel real quick. Fantastic location. We're right in the center of the historical center of Cusco. A couple blocks away is the Plaza de Armas, which is the sort of main square. Just around the corner here, you can find that 12 angled Inca stone that is really famous. There are still a lot of Inca walls in this area. Next door is the Museo de Pisco, which is a fun bar that gets going in the evening. And even though it's literally next door from me, I will say, if you're out here on the patio, you can kind of hear the music in the evening. But indoors in our room, it's perfectly silent. Like even with the road noise in Cusco, it's pretty loud. Like they've done a good job of soundproofing it. The rooms are incredible, very comfortable. Also nearby in terms of location, across the street is a restaurant called Occult. It's like a wine bar. Highly recommend it. We had a really good time there. There are lots of shops around the area. There are lots of places that'll do your laundry. The hotel has laundry service, but of course, if you wanted to get like a bigger bag done and you don't want to pay those prices, you could do that. So overall, I mean, you can't complain about the location. It's got a fantastic location right in the center of Cusco. Okay, now let's talk about what I paid to stay in the JW Marriott Cusco El Convento Hotel. I paid a total of $410 per night. Now, there are a couple things to keep in mind. First, that's not for the room that I'm staying in because I got an upgrade. This room retails for more like $700 to $1,000 a night if you want the Imperial Suite. What I paid for was the cheapest room, which are those Inca view rooms with the view of the Inca walls down on the -2 level. Like I said, very happy to get the upgrade. I thought it would have been cool to kind of have that Inca wall for the video. Those are the cheapest rooms. Now, $410 a night, I think is actually quite expensive for this hotel. Bear in mind, we were staying over Christmas, which is like peak season. Everything's sold out, especially for the luxury travelers because you have all those families coming in. I think normally you can find that room for more like $250 to $300 a night. I think it's pretty good value. I'm certainly with the upgrade think I got good value. That said, it's expensive. And so let me know, what do you think? Did I get a good deal or did I get ripped off? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so summary of my stay here. Overall, this is a really unique hotel. I love the history. The rooms are fantastic, really modern, very comfortable, very happy with the staff. There were some cons. I think the lack of a gym is kind of a bummer, especially considering how much we paid. Checkouts at 10 a.m., which might be annoying if you wanted to stay a little bit later. They did give me a late checkout on account of my Marriott Bonvoy status, but we will have to change rooms because somebody else is coming to stay in this Imperial Suite. So we'll have to like at 10 a.m. change to a smaller room. Still will be nice because we've got an evening flight to Colombia. I think if you didn't have that status, a 10 a.m. checkout might be annoying, but I understand why they do it because Peru, everything operates on an early schedule because people are going on from here to visit Machu Picchu or something else like that. So everything's early. The breakfast buffet's early. Everything's early. I get it. The buffet was a little chaotic. I don't know what the hotel can do about that. It might just be because of the Christmas thing, and it might just be that one family that really got on our nerves. I don't know. Have you all ever experienced that? Have you ever been in a hotel and you've just had like your arch nemesis as some other guests? It's probably not going to happen if you're going to stay here. So not a reason not to book the hotel, but those are my cons. If after staying here, you're looking for alternatives, I've got a guide to where to stay in Cusco on Travel Lemming. Just Google where to stay in Cusco Travel Lemming, or you'll find it in the links below. If you want to book this hotel and you want to help us out, we'd appreciate it if you use our affiliate links. The hotels do not know that we're staying here. We don't get any sort of special treatment on the fact of being a content creator. I mean, I do get special treatment because of my Marriott status, but that's not anything to do with the content we're making. This is not sponsored content. We do have affiliate relationships with Marriott, with Booking, with all of the sort of online travel platforms. And so how that works is we make money when readers like you watch our content and they're like, hey, this is really helpful. And then you choose to book your hotel through our affiliate link. We get a small commission. Well, I'll put those links in the normal places. If you want to help us out, you can make your booking there. Another alternative hotel you might consider is the Palacio del Inca. We also stayed there. That hotel is more couples focused. I think families really should stay here in the JW Marriott. But if you're looking for a luxury hotel that's more couples focused and is a little bit more of that sort of peaceful, serene vibe, we found that at Palacio del Inca. It's got beautiful art. The rooms aren't as modern as the JW, but it's got such incredible history. It's literally located in a former Inca temple. You can go watch this video that I did all about that next.